In this video, we're going to name aldehydes. So if you remember from the previous naming ketones slide, we went through a number of the carbonyl type compounds. The aldehyde looks like this. So if we were to have a one carbon attached to the carbonyl, and we need to have this H group attached, and this specifically is an aldehyde. So to name it, we have a 2-carbon chain, so this is ethane. And what we do is we get rid of the E and we put Al, so this would be ethanal in this case. So if it is highest priority, the name of the alkane chain will always have Al. So if we have a ketone or an alcohol, triple bond, double bond, alkyl halide, or any methyl substituents or alkyl substituents, it'll always be named Al for the aldehyde. If it's lower priority, and so for example, if there is a carboxylic acid, then we call this a carbaldehyde. Sorry, it's not a carbaldehyde. It's called a formal group. It's a carbaldehyde if it's on a cyclic ring. So let's try the carbaldehyde one. So if I had a ring like this, then I'm going to use, and I have an aldehyde attached like so. The carbaldehyde is actually a suffix, so I'm going to call this a cyclohexane. Carbaldehyde. A little bit odd, I know. It seems like there should be a simpler way of naming that. And the last example I was trying to say is if it's lower priority, such as in the case of the carboxylic acid, I have 1, 2, 3 carbons. This is propionic acid. And in the 1, 2, 3 position, it's a formal group now. So it's 3-formyl propionic acid. So if we try some examples, we have an aldehyde on the one end, we have a ketone here, and we have a methyl group here as well. So the base chain name, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is a butane. So I'm looking for a butanal. In the 2 position, I have a methyl. And in the 3 position, I have an oxo. So when we go in alphabetical order, the O comes after the M. So it's a 2-methyl, 3-oxo butanal. And we want to name this one, for example. The aldehyde takes highest priority, so the carbons are 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this is a butane. And I'll just write that up here. We know that we have an aldehyde, so we want to call this butanal. We also have a double bond in there, so we also need to call this butenal. So somehow we need to incorporate this name and yet indicate where everything is. The Al we don't have to worry about because it's always on the number 1 carbon, but on the 2 carbon is the double bond. So I'm going to call this a but-2-ene 1-al, or I could have called it a 2-butene-al. Either would have worked. In this case, this one looks a little bit better. But also we need to keep in mind that we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 bromo. So in this case there is a 4-bromo 2-butanal.